Okay, this question is, how did I use media technologies in the construction, research and planning and evaluation stage? First off, for the coursework portfolio I used Wix, which is what this is on, and this is an online website builder. So I built my portfolio up from nothing to what you now see in front of you on the screen, and this has been used for all the stages. I've used analog technologies and digital technologies, and I've been successful in combining both of these. Okay, so for the research, I've used the internet. I've not straightforward used Wikipedia because it is not reliable, but I've gone down to the bottom of your Wikipedia and it shows you all the sources, and I've then looked at these, so I can look at a genre of music, and then I can look at artists that have done it. I will then go to their websites. I looked on iTunes, and I looked on Spotify, and these are huge sites which have memory banks for these artists and their genre and their style and what kind of people like them and are into them. Okay, for the planning, well, first use storyboards. I obviously just used pen and paper, but then I would scan them in using an Epson scanner. I used Photoshop to higher the contrast on these to make them more visible. I then used Photoshop to change the resolution and the size. I would then use the gallery uploader on Wix, not the image one, the gallery one, because with the gallery you can then click on it and it will become bigger, and you don't get that if you upload it as a normal image. So I use that on Wix. Construction. Okay, for the construction, I've used Photoshop primarily. For the imagery, I've used Illustrator. Illustrator is more for like creating fonts or logos and stuff, whereas Photoshop is more for editing. And I've used Premiere Pro. I have I've used plugins within these. For Premiere Pro, I made my own template. I did that myself to fit my drawings and the animation. I have Photoshop. I've used layers, and I've combined photos and drawings and art and all these different things and aspects. I've used Word. I use SoundCloud within the research, and I use SoundCloud to listen to the different kinds of music. I also used it to communicate with the artists, as I did my Google Mail and Facebook and their websites. I experimented with making my own music, so I used Cubase, which I was taught to use in another subject last year, music technology. And this allows me to have a better understanding of the music that I'm listening to. So it comes under research and construction slightly. I've used YouTube Converter to use things for my evaluation blogs and other blogs. I used CS5 and CS6 products for both Photoshop, Premiere Pro and Illustrator. I even used Windows Movie Maker, just for quick exporting for vlogs for my evaluation stage. Didn't use After Effects too much, a little bit, and I used Media Encoder, which I've just started doing just because some of the stuff that I've been doing on Photoshop is so complex and hard to do. it is impossible to explain without showing, so I've only just started to do that. I've used Adobe Bridge, which allows me to access files and see all kind of files, and it gives me a better way of accessing, although it takes longer to load than the Windows Explorer. I've used Camera Raw, which allows me to edit all of the image, and to do this you have to take RAW or TIFF format files with your camera. You know, it depends what camera it is, what sensor it's using, and because if you're taking a JPEG, the camera edits the file slightly for you and makes the decision, whereas if you are taking a RAW photo, it is 100% you are in control, and you know, it makes things harder because you have to edit it and see how it is in your mind, but it gives you tons more control, and that is for the construction. Obviously operating system, Windows 7, in all fairness, you have more freedom than you do on a Mac, because Macs are restricted because they're not as popular and not as many people make them. I use Photomatix to make GIFs, you know, to see if my drawings could be animated and work as, you know, as GIFs in these ways. I also used stuff like Google and band websites to find links in between the different products that they were and were not making. So planning, I would use Google Images and I would download these images and look at them in Photoshop for inspiration for the magazine advert design and for the album design. I used an array of cameras. I used I used a medium format film camera, which is you get a much better quality image than you will with any of the SLRs that anyone else is using, and this combines old and new media and artistic and photographic technologies, and it overall gives it a better and gives me a more bigger understanding and, you know, rounded way of looking at things and be able to use these things. I've used drawing pads which have been connected. I've used mouses and non-mouse products. I've even done sketches using iPads and stuff, just to nudge me along that little bit further. I've also used websites like Flickr to display drawings, and I've linked it to them on the website, on my Wix, and this will give you a better image to mark, a much more higher quality resolution image than you would get looking at the images on Wix. I've also used things like phones and stuff to, you know, keep in contact with the people that have helped me and people that I am helping. I used a scanner for my drawings opposed to a camera because the sensor inside the scanner is much bigger than a camera, and it will give me much better quality, and I can edit these in Photoshop and Camera Raw a lot easier than I would be able to otherwise. I've used iTunes for music, and just because it's, you know, simple to use, simple to get the file types that you want, and it's just something that everyone knows how to use. I've used external mics, but mostly the mic within the camera and the laptop.